As the leader of the Booner Pack, I lead from the front.
All right, boys. Lock in.
It's our core foundation, man. Grit.
I'm fired up. I'm fired the f*** up, boys.
It's pumping right now. It's got my juice pumping, boys.
We're live. NFL trade deadline. We're covering here on Crunch Time Sports. How's everyone doing? How's everyone doing? A lot of things have already happened over the last couple of hours. I will be talking about it. Hopefully things happen while we are live. The Jets are basically starting over. A lot of things are happening. So, like I said, a lot of things to cover. Today, we're going to get into all the things that's happened around the NFL. Guys, players that have been moved already. And then we'll get into what we think the Lions will do. Hopefully something happens while I am live. We're going to be live until 4 o'clock when the trade deadline officially ends. But here's what we have so far. All right. And this doesn't cover everything because 2 more trades just happened, but you can kind of see already. Adam Schefter put this out a couple hours ago. This is about like 12 o'clock. Here's all the moves, not including what's already kind of happened over the last like 30 minutes. So we have Jacoby Myers. He goes to Jacksonville. Jalen Phillips went to the Eagles. You guys saw that. Drummond Jones went to the Ravens. Logan Wilson today went to the Dallas Cowboys. Jair to Philly. Michael Carter to Philly. 3 Philly trades already on here. John Mechie in that deal goes to the Jets. He was formerly with the Eagles. Keon White went to the 49ers. This was all prior to today as well. Kyle Duggar went to the Steelers. Roger McCreary, the Rams made that trade for him. Greg Newsome went to Jacksonville. Tyson Campbell in that trade went to Cleveland. Adafe Owe to the Chargers. Gilman went back to Baltimore in that trade. And Joe Flacco went to Cincy. And then we had a massive 2 trades today from the New York Jets. One of them being Detroit native Sauce Gardner was moved, which I never would have thought you'd hear that today. He tweeted out, "Thank you, New York." He was moved. Arguably the best corner in the National Football League was moved from the New York Jets. I know he's been having an up and down year, but it's still freaking Sauce Gardner. Just signed an extension with the Jets as well. Goes to Indy for a 2026 first-round pick, a 2027 first-round pick, and a Donnie Mitchell, the receiver from Texas, who was drafted by the Colts, I believe, in the 2nd round. So this trade was shocking to me. And it's not the only trade the Jets decided to do. They just as of a couple minutes ago, decided to move defensive tackle Quinnen Williams as well. Here is that trade. Quinnen Williams is heading to the Dallas Cowboys. The Jets are receiving a 2026 second-round pick, a 2027 first-round pick, and defensive tackle Mazi Smith. So now the Jets have 2 first-round picks this year and then 3 first-round picks next year. So they are stacking up on first-round picks, getting rid of their cornerstone players, which, this kind of signals, hey, Jets are in a rebuild. A complete rebuild, by the way. Quinnen Williams is an excellent player. Sauce Gardner is an excellent player. Both moved today for first-round picks. I don't really necessarily listen. I'm the type of guy, and this is just my thought process on it, because I know a lot of people love the trade for the Jets. You get all these first-round picks, which, again, they're trying to get a quarterback. So when you look at it like that, it makes a ton of sense. They're trying to stockpile picks to trade up and get a quarterback, or at least add around their quarterback. They're probably going to have a top pick this year, if not the number 1 overall pick. But I like to keep cornerstones personally. I think there's some players that you want as cornerstones while you're rebuilding. And you'd think that Sauce Gardner would be one of those cornerstones, or Quinnen Williams would be one of those cornerstones. But hey, fresh restart. Jeremy Reisman put out that this is the Jets version of that Matthew Stafford trade. So Jets are resetting here, but still no moves from the Detroit Lions as of right now. The Bears did make a move, though. They traded for a pass rusher. Yep, look away. Let me see if I can get this trade. So the Bears traded with the Cleveland Browns for Joe Tryon Shoyinka, which he has 0 sacks on the year, but he's had a couple sacks a year with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And they traded essentially a 6th-round pick for him. Here's that trade. We'll just call him Joe Tryon. I think he's from Washington, if I'm not mistaken. He went to college at Washington. But the Bears traded for an edge. Their edge, Deo, who they signed in the offseason, had an Achilles injury, so they wanted more depth at edge. They make a move. They're 5-3. How are we feeling? I want to go to you guys. Okay, what's the vibe right now? What are the vibes? Because I will say it's 2:23 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You got until 4 o'clock. I'm not feeling very confident. Okay, I'm not feeling very confident. And someone just put this out too on Twitter. I don't remember which beat writer, so forgive me. But he referenced something that Brad Holmes has said before. And it's something along the lines of he believes extensions can be viewed as additions. Like, well, we're extending our guys. That's our additions, which is crazy. I mean, it's just like, I don't know. I hate that. But, extending your guys are good, obviously. And I think this Lions team, I've already said this. I think they're a good team. I think the way they play, the way they've played this season has been a little concerning. It seems like they have high highs and low lows. They haven't really been steady as of yet. They're still kind of figuring out their identity. I think they need to make a move. I don't think this is one of those years where you just stay pat. And what Brad has shown us over the last 2 years is he's willing to make a move. He's made a move the last 2 deadlines. So you'd like to think a move's coming. But on top of that, not just to add a move or to get a player, but I think they actually do need a player. I think they need a left guard. I think that's what they actually need. When Aiden Hutchinson went down last year, what did they do? They went and got Zadarius Smith. Well, Christian Mahogany just went down. So you need to call Cleveland and go get Joe Bitonio. That's what you need to do. Or call the Jets and see if you can get one of their offensive linemen. That's what they need to do. They need to trade for a player. Everyone's going to make moves. Everyone's making moves. The Colts just signaled to their fan base, and this is what I do respect about the Colts. Now, take away whether you think the Colts are legitimate contenders or not. I don't think they are. I don't think Daniel Jones is. I think a little bit of this is fugazi. But screw that opinion. Let's just look at what the Colts are trying to do. You know what they're signaling to their fan base right now, the Colts? We are all in. We want to win. We want good players. And Chris Ballard is thinking that exact same way. So if you disagree with the move, fine. I think Sauce Gardner is a very, very good corner. And I think the Colts signaling to their fan base, we're going all in. We feel like we have a ton of talent. Let's go. Let's maximize this window while we have Jonathan Taylor playing the way he's playing right now, the way the offense is playing, the defense and some of the players they have are playing. Let's get better. I respect it. I respect it. I think that's, again, there's a line you have to draw in the sand a little bit when it comes to, being stupid or stupidly aggressive or just aggressive or mildly aggressive. I'm not saying trade every first-round pick for bad play. I'm not saying that. But I do respect an organization that is like, hey, we're trying to win. That is what it's about, guys. You don't play to make the playoffs. I've been saying this lately. You don't play to make the playoffs, then you're the Steelers. Okay? Right now. Which sounds crazy because the Steelers, usually that's a good thing. That's not what you do. That's not what you do. You don't play to make the playoffs. You play to win the Super Bowl. So for me, I would like Brad to be a little aggressive today. I don't want to be the Steelers, man. I want to win the Super Bowl. That's what it's all about. Brad is going to have a statue if they do that. Dan Campbell will have a statue if they do that. That's just what it's about. So that's where I'm at. I've made that very clear. I want this Lions team to be aggressive. I want them to make moves, upgrade your offensive line. Upgrade anything you're willing to upgrade. All right. Josh Prince, go get Arden Key to Detroit by this afternoon at the end of the trade deadline. Yeah, I'm cool with Arden Key. I've said Joel Bitonio. I don't know what that would cost. Probably like a mid-round pick. Probably like a fifth round pick, something like that. You could probably get Joel Bitonio. I'm not the master of what trades would cost. I'm good at identifying players. I think Joel Bitonio would be a perfect fit. I just don't know what it would cost, but go get it done. Joel Bitonio would be a perfect slot in at that left guard. Perfect. And they need all the help they can get. They do. It is what it is. That's BS Table Game says we need O-line help bad. Yes, they do. Jason O, what happens if the Lions don't make a move? Well, if they don't make a move, that would signal to the fan base that Brad Holmes feels that with what they currently have, he feels they can win a Super Bowl. And quite frankly, listen, I disagree. I think that offensive line is more of a concern than he would think if they don't make a move. I would say, well, I'm way more worried than you are, Brad. I don't know what you see in this offensive line if they don't make a move, because then you'd have Yodi slotted in at guard for the rest of the year on an offensive line that's already struggling. I'm good. Dan just talked about it today on 97.1 The Ticket. There's a legitimate thought process of moving Graham to guard and putting Tristan Colon or Kingsley at center. What are we doing here? Are we serious? That's where we're at. Tristan Colon or Kingsley. Both guys who have been on the practice squad might start at center. Yeah, you got to make a move on the offensive line. Jared Goff is not mobile. It is what it is. When he's protected, he's very good. If you don't bolster this offensive line and you roll in with that offensive line for the rest of the year, you are boned. Boned. You're boned. That's my opinion. This offensive line, everything is built through this O-line. You got to make a move. This offensive line is not good enough. Point blank, period. Penei Sewell's elite. Taylor Decker's dealing with a lot of injuries. It's tough as nails, man. Graham's been inconsistent, but you can't. And Tate Ratledge is kind of. I'm not. Is worried. He's a rookie, so I would assume he's going to get better. But that Christian Mahogany loss on an offensive line that's already struggling, I'm telling you guys, is a bigger deal than you might think. A bigger deal. So I really hope Brad understands that and makes a move. Like I'm usually the edge guy. I like pass rushers. I really do. But I think we can all kumbaya and agree they need offensive line help. If you want to go get an offensive lineman and an edge, here's. Zachary King, do you think we traded Tim Patrick too soon? We could have held on to him to move for a center. I'll tell you two things. One, no, I think they made the right decision trading for Tim Patrick, and I'll explain why in a second. And two, you weren't never trading him for a center. I'm surprised they got a sixth round pick for him. I mean, I'm surprised. And here's the thing. This is how bad the offensive line is, man. Like, not bad. I shouldn't say bad as in they're one of the worst in the league, but this is how inconsistent they've been this year. All right. Because I think bad might be a little aggressive. They haven't been great. Is that better? They've been running a lot of 12 personnel, bringing out another tight end out on the field because they can't block. Or they're struggling to protect Jarrett. So they're running a lot of 12 personnel, which means you have another tight end out there, which is why Brock Wright's been out there. They ran a lot of 11 personnel last year with another receiver, which meant Tim Patrick was involved a lot. If they could block, you probably would have Isaac Tesla out there a lot more. But they need help. They need help. They need Brock Wright to chip. They need Brock Wright to assist. So Isaac Tesla gets, he gets hurt by that. So it's not even like, oh, Tim Patrick this or Tim Patrick. Not that you're insinuating that, but they haven't used a wide receiver 3 a lot this year because they need help blocking. That's why they have another tight end out there. That's why they're in 12 personnel. So that's the reasoning for that. So yeah, go get offensive line help. Go do it. Terrence Wiseman, appreciate you for watching. Brad isn't making a move. If he does it, it's going to be a depth piece. Well, I feel bad, man. I really do. And I've talked about this a lot lately. I feel bad for Lions fans because Lions fans have been conditioned to think that the only move that's going to happen is a depth piece. Now, I'm not saying you got to go get, Trey Hendrickson or bust. I'm not saying that. But I don't want a Donovan Peoples-Jones. I want a starter. I want a starter. Can we get a starter at left guard? I mean, you're about to run out there with Booner this Sunday. Booner's going to legit play left guard. So if it's Kevin Zeitler, he would be out of position, so I don't know if that's a great fit. Or Joe Petonio, who's a great fit. Do it. Eric Ray, we're not conditioned. We just know Brad. And yeah, I get that. That's fair. But that's sad to me. We got to, you know what it is? And I think fans have a lot of responsibility in this. And you guys do a lot. You guys do a great job. You guys speak what's on your mind. You keep it a stack. You preach it. You preach what the choir's already been talking about, which is, Brad needs to be a little more aggressive. But you got to make your voices heard, man. Let's demand more. Demand more. It's okay. And I know the easy response would be, well, Jeff, what are you, did you just become a Lions fan in the last couple of years? You sound spoiled. No, I just want better. I want better. That's what I want. Trust me, I've watched a ton of Lions football. Many people have watched it longer than me, and I completely acknowledge that. I've been watching since this team was bad. Just because they've been good doesn't mean we have to just shut our mouths in whatever Brad spoon feeds me. I have to accept it. All right? It's okay to demand a little more and say, hey, this is a Super Bowl team with plenty of players in their prime still, players that are under contract as of right now. Let's go all in. Let's be aggressive. Let's win the Super Bowl. That's what it's about. If you told me, Jeff, you could win if you could win a Super Bowl, but you'd have to suck the next 2 years. Not that this would happen because the Lions have a lot of young talent, but let's just say that was the case. Would you take it? Yes. Before you even finish. I would take that. I would watch the Lions win 3 games the next 2 years, win the Super Bowl. Nobody. Jeff, thank you for the midday content. Let's go Lions. Appreciate you, nobody. Appreciate you for that. Tep Sauce. By the way, Super Chats will be read upon being sent. Sorry for getting this one a little late. Tep Sauce. I never cared if Brad makes a move, personally. Change that mindset, man. Because I'm telling you, you're going to be pissed off in about a couple of weeks when problems that you already had continue to rise. I'm telling you, offensive line problems, you think it's going to improve without Christian Mahogany? God bless you. Anakin Styogre, appreciate it for the 5 months membership. O-line is my number one concern, but people are acting like time has run out. People need to realize that bitching won't change anything. Season isn't over. It's not about bitching. It's about demanding more. I think that's completely fair. That's the other problem is like, dude, that's the other problem with this thing. If you demand excellence, you're bitching. We got to change that mindset, guys. I mean, what are we doing here? What do you think Eagles fans do? Eagles fans have made 3 Super Bowls and have won 2 of them in the last, 8 years? You don't think they're bitching if they're not accomplishing what they want to accomplish? Because the Eagles are held to a high standard. The Lions, although they haven't won a Super Bowl, they are a great team. They're well run. It's time to just start demanding shit. You know, it's not about bitching. Like, that's why Howie Roseman doesn't play around, dude. Les Snead, they don't play around. They make moves happen. Brett Veach, same thing. So it's time to start demanding more. And I really hope, Brad, I mean, we're running out of time here. I mean, we got an hour and 23 minutes? Oh. Michael, I would take one Super Bowl for the rest of my life than 20 playoff appearances. I am with you on that, by the way. Nate, shout out to Nate, man. Appreciate you, bro. He says next 2 years, I'd do it for 20. Marvin, I'm a Lions fan. I've been saying I'll take 20 years of suck for one Super Bowl. See, we're all, guys, that's what it's about. I'm glad you guys feel it the same way I do. All right? You guys are on the same page as me. If you could win it all and I got to eat shit for a little bit, I'm cool with that. I'm chilling. All right? I've watched enough bad football. If I can get a Super Bowl and a party and a parade on Woodward, I might go missing during that celebration. I might go missing. That's how excited I would be. All right? So I'll take it. Jobus, appreciate you for watching, bro. He says, Jeff, make a good point. Jeff makes a good point about the Eagles and what have they done? What have they done compacted what Discount Brad has done? Or compaded? Okay, here's the thing, Jobus, and I think the point you're trying to make is kind of comparing both GMs. All right, listen. And I know it gets a little tiring. It gets a little tiring when compared. Okay, you meant compared. Compared to what Discount Brad has done. So here's the thing. All right, and Brad's been very conservative. I think I try to look at it from his perspective a little bit. This is kind of this is what I've came up with. Tell me if I'm off on this. I try to see it through the lens of Brad Holmes. Howie Roseman has been with the Eagles for a long time. All right, he's been a GM for a long time, but he's been with the Eagles. He's worked in that organization for a long time. I think he's gotten to a point now with the Eagles. Again, like I said, they've made 3 Super Bowls. They've won 2 of them. He can be aggressive, and he knows like his seat ain't hot. Not that Brad's is, but I think this is Brad's first GM job. He done a great job. He's hit on a bunch of draft picks. He's turned around one of the worst organizations in all of sports, really, but in the NFL. And now he's on this pedestal. And people love him, which they should. He's a really good GM. He's a very good GM. But I think there is a little bit with Brad where he's a little nervous. You know, I don't think he's at the point of the fuck it Howie Roseman strategy or the F it Les Snead strategy where it's like, no matter what I do, I'm so great. You're not getting rid of me. I can take more risks. I think Brad's a little nervous to take risks. You know, I think it's part of it being a newer GM. That's my theory. I think it's part of it's just being new. I mean, he's been for a couple years now, but I think there's still a little bit of Brad where he's like, I don't know if I want to make these big moves and potentially fuck it up, but it's like, Brad, you've done such a great job, man. Trust your gut. And I'm not saying trust your gut, which, you know, means sit back and do nothing, but take risks. Sometimes you got to take some risks to take that next step. All right. I'm not saying be stupid. I'm not saying be stupid. I'm not encouraging, you know, giving up first-round picks for bad player. I'm not saying that. And a risk doesn't mean trading away a bunch of firsts. It could be, you know, just making a trade of a starter. Go get starters. Not that they need a bunch of them. They have a really good team, but Joe Bitonio, maybe another edge. Joe Bitonio, maybe another corner. Go do it. There's like this weird, he's like hesitant at times, Brad. It's like, I don't know. Like it took Aiden breaking his leg for him to get Zadarius Smith. And you're kind of in the same situation, not of the same caliber of player, but it took Mahogany to be out for probably the entire year to go make a trade probably for an offensive lineman. But like, it shouldn't be like that. You shouldn't have to wait till someone dies on the field to go get a really good player. I mean, just go get good players. You know, like go ahead. No team in the NFL is perfect. Not one. Not a single team. So every team can afford to add. It's just how it goes. Let's see here. Let's get to some comments. Super Bowl Wilson. I think people are frustrated because Brad doesn't do what they want him to do, like sign Zadarius. Listen, I'm not saying Brad has to listen to everything the fans say. And I'm not saying that the fans know more than Brad. Obviously, he's in that position for a reason. I think he's a super intelligent dude. I'm not trying to insinuate I know more than Brad. But can we just say this? I think there's things that Brad knows that fans cannot possibly know. Like some things that the public doesn't know. But fans really know. I mean, you guys, we all watch the same games, right? I mean, we watch the Lions. You have a good idea of what they need. All right, like I don't think wanting a left guard is controversial. I think we can all clearly see that. I think Stevie Wonder could see it. Honestly, they need a fucking left guard. So, I think there's certain moves that fans want that is actually fair. I'm not saying the guys do everything fans want, but in this case, it is actually fair. They need offensive line help. Look at it. Let me see this. I mean, they're 21st in pass blocking according to PFF. Jared Goff's on pace to be sacked more than he ever has in his career. I mean, we cool with that? No. What do we know Jared Goff to be? A quarterback that needs to be protected. Just like any other quarterback. It's not a Jared Goff thing, but he's not mobile, so it actually matters a little more. Needs to be protected. Needs a run game. Well, you're struggling to run the ball at times. And you're in these games where Jared's attempting 35-plus passes and trying to throw you to a victory. And like most quarterbacks, that's not a recipe for success. Jared Goff is 11-21 since he became a Detroit Lion when attempting 35 or more passes. Upgrade the offensive line for him. It'll help out in the run game. It'll help out in the pass protection. Jared Goff's not playing bad, by the way. He's not the issue. I'm not saying that, Keaton. Jared Goff's not the issue. But help him out. Help the man out a little bit, man. Jared Goff's getting killed. What are we doing? Help the man out. That's what I'm saying. Got to help him out. I mean, this is a quarterback-driven league, man. Michael says, only got an hour and 15. I don't think it's happening. It feels that way. Doesn't it? It really does feel that way. Lions loyalty. Saying we need a lineman and getting one are not the same. Yeah, I know. In the chat, listen, I'm going to put a poll in the chat. Let's just go to you guys on this. Do you believe the Lions exit the deadline without a single move? Let's just cut the shit. Let's just ask the question. Will the Lions make a single move? I mean, I know it sounds insane, but because you'd like to think they make one move, I'm just asking you guys. The poll's live in the chat. All right. Will they make a single move today? That's the bar. Not 2, not 3. Will they make a single move? That's what you guys can vote on. All right, and I'll read that in a second. Jason, pretty sure the Za'Darius deal got done just before the deadline. That could be the case. Listen, I'm going live till 4 o'clock here. All right, so I'm not because it could happen. It could happen. But it's been quiet. And you see all these insiders tweeting out that, it's not done yet. We'll see. We will see. I hope the Lions are one of those not done yet teams. I don't know. I would love, and I'm assuming, I think Brad meets with the media after the trade deadline, especially if they obviously make a move. But I just want to hear his reasoning if they don't make a move. And they have all these injuries. Like Campbell just said on 97 on the ticket, Kirby Joseph's knee injury has not gone away like the Lions have hoped. They don't want to rush him. So you have guys dealing with injuries. Kirby's obviously dealing with it. Taylor's dealing with it. Panay's dealing with it. Offensive line's definitely dealing with it. Tate Rowledge. And you have some guys on defense that are dealing with injuries. That's just how it is. Jeff God, can we stop? We can stop saying Super Bowl or bust now, Jeff. Well, here's the thing either. Like, I'm not going to, this is what I believe. We all wanted to be in this situation. All right. We all wanted to be in the Super Bowl or bust grouping with other teams. That's what every fan dreams of. All right. That's what, as a fan, when you get to that point where it's Super Bowl or bust, like the Chiefs, like the Bills, like the Eagles, you want to be there. Ravens, I think, are in that. And obviously not this year, but typically the Ravens are thinking that way too. The Rams are thinking that way. It's an honor. It's important. I mean, it's why you play the game. You want all the pressure. All right. You want to go win a Super Bowl. That's what's being talked. That was what was talked about before the year with this Lions team. It's an honor. So no, I don't think that's done. I think it's Super Bowl or bust. Hence why I've been so, I want the Lions to improve as much as they can, because that's what it is. It's Super Bowl or bust. I'm telling you right now, they didn't win a playoff game last year. If they win a playoff game this year and lose, it's a failure. It's a failure. We're not going to celebrate a playoff win anymore. They did that. We got that monkey off our back, guys. It's over. You're not looked at as a playoff win and done team. All right? You're not. You shouldn't accept that. When the Rams almost beat the Eagles, you think they were fine with that? No, they were pissed. We should have beat the Eagles. The Commanders were ecstatic probably just to be there. But the Lions were once in that position. Remember the Commanders just faced the Eagles in the NFC Championship game. The Commanders fans were probably like, yeah, we're here. That's what this Lions team was when they made the NFC Championship game. I was just happy we were there. It's just like, hey, we're in the NFC Championship game. This is exciting. But after that, you're done. Now it's Super Bowl or bust. It's where you want to be as a team. So that I'm not saying it's not Super Bowl. It's definitely Super Bowl or bust. It's a failure. Fans should be upset if they don't win a Super Bowl. Point blank, period. I don't want to hear anything about the window. Like, it's okay, Jeff, if they go one and done, you got a window. Guys, every team in the NFL has a window. You can't avoid it. The only teams that are able to have extended windows are teams with Hall of Fame quarterbacks, Hall of Fame head coaches. Andy Reid and Mahomes, Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. Those are extended, or the Eagles have had, they've won it with two different quarterbacks, but listen, if you want to compare to Howie Roseman, they just continuously be aggressive and make trades and draft really well and do everything excellent. But usually you need those two things. That's how you create, and obviously an elite GM, which Brad is, and they have a great head coach. They have a good quarterback. They have a great GM. But it's just, guys, like, it's not realistic to be like, this window's open 10 years. You have young players under contract. You're not going to be able to resign everybody, or it's going to be very hard. So you want to maximize this opportunity while you still have all these players. This is the moment. This is the time. To be honest with you, and I'm just venting at this point, I wish the time was with Ben and Aaron Glenn, because that was when you were humming on all cylinders. And it was unfortunate they had so many injuries last year. Okay, that's nothing they can control. But that's when you were at your peak. Even though people think Calvin's, and I agree, Calvin's better than Aaron Glenn, but that's when you had, Ben, this offense was historic. They were, going on all cylinders. Now you have an offensive coordinator change. It's not going as well. It's a little up and down. But windows are real. By the way, Calvin's going to be hired eventually. Sorry. You got to win with good coordinators. You got to. And I'm with the Shift God too. Like, I don't want to hear dynasty until you win your first Super Bowl. Don't want to hear that at all. Let's just focus on getting there. How about that? Not even winning. Let's just get there. But yeah, they the window stuff's real. That's why, I've been big on trying to maximize that opportunity to win a Super Bowl. And you can do both. And I'm sorry to keep bringing up the Eagles, but they're a great example. It's like Howie Roseman's always done a great job at drafting. They just drafted Jahad Campbell in the first round. He's an excellent pick. And they're aggressive. Like, people think that you have to be Les Snead and not have a first-round pick for 4 years. No, you don't have to do that. That's like obviously the extreme version. But Howie Roseman trades, keeps first-round picks, keeps different picks. He traded for Jalen Phillips for a third-round pick. And guess what? If Jalen Phillips leaves, they get a third-round pick back for a compensatory pick. He's already ahead of it. So you can do both. You can be aggressive and still draft. You know, the Eagles do it. So Brad can still dip into the draft like he loves and improve and get better. You know? That's just what it is. I don't know, guys. I'm worried. I mean, I don't want to get to the poll. Poll's live. All right. So 160 votes. It's continuing to climb. Vote. We have almost 400 people here. I want everyone to vote in that poll. Will the Lions make a single move? It's already lopsided right now. 77% of the votes say no. I should have known that. By the way, all the people that are watching, I'm giving out free. I'm going to go ahead and do this real quick. Membership. I'm giving out some free memberships for the month for all the people supporting us right now. So bang, there's some free memberships. Whoever got those, congratulations. Those are for the month. But yeah, he's got an hour and 7 minutes. And you guys are losing confidence by the seconds. You know what? I can't entirely blame you. I really can't. I can't entirely blame you, man. Shit sucks. All right. How do you think I feel? I think I'm getting a couple grays in the back because of this shit. I really am. AE, the Lions have traded Taylor Decker for a conditional 5th-round pick and Will Harris. Someone ban him. Time him out for 6 years. Thanks. Let's see. Motor City, street scene. 175 votes, but only 47 likes. Smash that button, people. Yep. Hit the like button on the stream. Helps push out the streaming algorithm. Appreciate you all for watching, hanging out with us. As always, you guys are awesome. Dark Flame. He says, didn't Brad admit that he tried trading up a dozen times or so in the first round and no one would trade? Yes, he did say that. He did say that this year. He tried trading up. I don't know exactly what position. It still wasn't confirmed. It was rumored to be an edge. I don't know what player, who it was. But yes, that is what he said. I think Brad is aggressive. It's weird. Brad is aggressive in the draft, but he's not aggressive in at the trade deadline. That's just it's his cup of tea. It's the draft. I just said, actually, Dalton just said that. To throw picks around in the draft, but not for a proven guy. It is weird. I mean, that's just kind of how he operates, right? Like he and again, I get the draft. I get drafting and developing. I think it's great, especially when you have a GM like Brad. He's so great at identifying talent. I get it. I understand it. You want to keep those. You want to keep your ammunition. All right. I get it. But you have to think, Brad. All right. Think of it like this. You've done such a great job in the draft that you have an influx of talent. You have so much talent on this team. You're pretty good, bro. You know, you're pretty good. Now you have to replace guys, of course, but you know, like you don't have to think of a Sam Laporta replacement right now. You have him for 2 years. Okay. Same with Brian. Same with Jack. Like you chill out, go get talent. You know, you don't have to be already thinking in the future 2 years ahead. Like, just focus on the right now. Let's win a Super Bowl right now. And I have faith in you, Brad, that you will figure it out. You always do. Patrick says you don't want to be desperate, is what it boils down to, in my opinion. I don't think you have to be desperate. You know, I think there's a difference. I think it's what does Dan Campbell say? Controlled aggression. Is that the right word for this? It's controlled aggression. All right. You want to be aggressive, but controlled aggression. You don't want to be an idiot or be, irresponsible. I'm not saying that or trying to insinuate that. Find the right move. Find the right move. And I think Joel Bitonio out in Cleveland is the right move. And I hope within the next hour and 3 minutes, we get a notification telling me that he is a Detroit Lion. I really, really Hope so. Here we go. Brian. If our defense is better this year versus last, it boils down to the offense and special teams. Offense is scoring 2.5 points less per game compared to last year. This boils down to developing that O-line. Yeah, and, I think the offense, it's hard because, and this is what I brought up yesterday. Like and this is why I do think some of it's on John Morton. I do. I don't think he's absolved from blame, of course. I think it's the offensive line is why the offense has been struggling, obviously, which ties in a little bit to the run game. I think also your scheme, your offensive scheme in the NFL. I mean, you have to scheme the run game as well. That's part of your. It's not like you just Jahmyr Gibbs just runs up the middle every time. You got to be creative in the run game. And I think Johnny Mo lacks in that. I think he lacks in creativity in general. So I think the run game is affected by the O-line. I think it's also affected by Johnny Morton. I just don't think he's creative enough. I don't think they have watching the Lions. It seems like every time they run these stupid screen passes, whenever there's blitzes, it's dumb. So the offensive line has not been great this year. And if you do not make a move and you roll for the rest of the year with Yodi at guard, Tate Ratledge, or, you do Graham at left guard, which he's going to be on Taylor Decker's side anyway. And I love Taylor Decker, but he's banged up. Then you are screwed royally. You are screwed. What about this? Theo, another YouTube podcaster, said the Lions coaches and players were arguing with one another and Goff was having words with Johnny Morton. Any validity? Guys, I would love to know who the source is, and I don't mean this disrespectfully. Don't believe everything you read online. Please, don't believe it. Like, don't believe that shit. Like, unless it's from, Justin Rogers directly or Dave Burkett, or don't believe that shit. That's not. Don't. I see enough of this fake news crap. All over. Don't believe everything you read. All right. Don't believe everything you read. Boots Omega. The Lions defense is fine. It's all about the O-line. Yeah, by the way, I said this yesterday. It's so unfortunate that this Lions defense is so good the year where the offensive line is bad and the offense is struggling. I think what I would give to pair this defense with last year's offense. I mean, it's just it's so unfortunate. They swapped roles. Now the offense is struggling. The defense, they're not struggling like they're bad, but they just don't look like last year. That's basically what it is. Nate Paulson, great point, by the way. Frank covered up a lot of that need for creativity and run scheming, but they had creativity and Frank both. And honestly, to add to that, Nate, because Nate's absolutely right about that. The thing about Frank that's so elite is he could identify and pick up blitzes. And they didn't have an answer to Brian Flores, which with Frank, they always did. With Ben Johnson too. But Frank is elite at just picking up blitzers and, doing his thing at the line of scrimmage. Those pre-snap kind of, identifying everything he needs to identify. Him and Jared Goff are kind of on the same page. And it seems like Graham is just obviously, and to no one's surprise, just is not capable of doing it at the same level, which no one thought he would be. But you see it so evident this year. Like Frank, man, he's missed in a lot of ways. As a player, physically and mentally, they miss him so bad. Like Graham is not. He's not close to Frank. All due respect to Graham. He's not. Ken Ross. Brad is not overpaying for a rental. If the right deal isn't there for the right price, he's passing. Well, that's ironic because the Eagles just paid a third-round pick for Jalen Phillips, and he's a rental. So it's funny how certain teams will pay for rentals and Brad won't. And I'm not saying you need to overpay, like pay a first-round pick, but I like rentals. Rentals should be enticing to Brad because you don't have to commit anything long-term. What did we just get? Did I get another trade? Oh, no. Yeah, Reynolds should be great because then you don't have to commit anything long term. It's like the Bradley Chubb contract. People want Bradley Chubb. Guys, Bradley Chubb's under contract. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a long term commitment that I don't think Brad Holmes will be willing to make, and I don't blame him for those type of moves because then you're tied up into a contract with a player unless you can get out of it like they could do with Za'Darius. But I'm not saying be stupid in that way where you trade for a player on a multi-year deal and it hurts. You know, it hurts trying to trade for other guys. I'm not saying that. Reynolds should be ideal, though. It's like, hey, man, come help us win a Super Bowl. And if you can't, it is what it is. But we're going to go all in and try and win one. And if we can't, at least I tried to go all in. And we're not committed to you long term, which doesn't tie us up in a bad way. So I think Reynolds are the way to go. Jalen Phillips is a rental. Trey Hendrickson's a rental. You know, unless you want to keep the player, like Sauce Gardner's not a rental, obviously. Quinnen Williams is not a rental, but those teams want to keep those players. I don't think the Lions, with who they have to pay, want to keep players at an expensive rate. But they should want to, like, it's just like how it is. Like Joe Petonio, I think, let me see. Let me check Joe Petonio. So, yeah, like, dude, Joe Petonio would be perfect. Joe Petonio is a free agent. Oh, my gosh, this is perfect. And the reason why he's a free agent after this year, and the reason why that's perfect is he's gone. And then Christian Mahogany just slots back in next year. He's getting paid $15 million. But you don't have to, obviously, you just pay whatever is left of that. But yeah, you don't want to be tied up to guys long term. I don't think that's the right move. Especially, again, like I said, given who you have to pay. But yeah, I'm cool with Reynolds, man. I'm cool with Reynolds. I wonder if the Jets, people are saying the Jets are going to make another trade. Maybe someone on that offensive line, eh? Come on. I would be cool with that. Platonic says the Packers did do something. They just did it at the beginning of the season. Yeah, they've already made their big trade, man. They paired Rashawn Gary up with Micah Parsons. So they don't need to do anything today. Theo says, I'm guessing they are asking for more than a 6-rounder for Zeitler and Holmes. Won't budge. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what that would be. Again, I'm never claiming to be the trade, the trade value guy. I don't know what Kevin Zeitler would cost. I know probably what would be too much, but they have guys that, Brad Holmes has guys that are willing, that can kind of weigh out the value of trades for him. I don't know the value of trades. I know the players, but if a 6th-round pick, you can have it yesterday for a guy like Kevin Zeitler. I just don't know what would happen there. Maybe Tate would play left, I guess, or Zeitler would just play left. But yeah, like Steve said, they have 3 6-round picks. We'll see. And I know people are talking about Kevin Zeitler. He did go to Tennessee to be closer with family, and he's close with the offensive line coach. So I think his wife might be from there. I'm not exactly sure on the specifics, but he did go there for a certain reason. I honestly think he's retiring after this year. I think he's pretty much done. So that's what I think. Let's see. Get a boy Juan. Why does everyone want Zeitler? He's a right guard. Why would you want to move a rookie mid-season in a Super Bowl season? I think that's fair. You probably wouldn't want to. And I think Dan actually said that today. We don't want to move Tate to center. So I don't think they want to move him at all. I think he's staying at right guard. I think that's where they want him to go. It's just too much, man. You throw a rookie at right guard. He's already kind of up and down. What are you going to make a play his opposite side at left guard? Like, you're not doing that. That's why Joe Petonio, going back to him, is a perfect fit. Plays left guard. Keep Graham at center. Slot in Joe Petonio. Nate V says, Jeff, both Jets guards are free agents in 2026. Nate V, I'm listening. Nate V, I'm listening. Brian says, go get Jackson Powers. Jackson Powers Johnson from Oregon. Get him long term. Then you solidify your line for years. Ratledge goes center. Yeah, he plays guard and center. I think he was a center. I think he was a kind of a both coming out of college, and we liked him actually a lot. I know he's with the Raiders. I don't know why they want to move him. I don't know if it's a scheme fit or what, but yeah, that would be a guy that you keep. I mean, I don't know what he's under contract for, like 2 more years, something like that. But I don't know how he's playing though, which I guess it's hard to judge because he's with the Raiders. But I like Jackson. I like Jackson Powers Johnson coming out. He's very super athletic. He's not a bad player. Played guard this year, 19th in run blocking. They need that. But yeah, he's played every snap at right guard this year. I don't know. Listen, I don't know. I haven't watched enough of Jackson Powers Johnson to get a good evaluation of him. I don't know. I know Joe Petonio has been in the league for a while. He's a vet, and he's always played at a pretty high level. So I know what I'm getting out of him for certain. I know what I'm getting out of Joe Petonio. So I'm going to keep saying the name. ETN, I think the Raiders are low on him. Well, that's never a good sign either. All right. So unless Brad sees a diamond in the rough there, the Raiders need offensive line help. So that's a little concerning. No way. Oh, fake trade. See, you guys got to watch for these fake trades, man. I just got duped. Wasn't a Lions one, but it was some fake account put out. Falcons are sending Kyle Pitts to the Bucs for 2 second-round picks. This is where you got to be careful here. All right. Breece Hall, by the way, tweeted out an emoji. So Breece Hall could be moved. Probably should be moved, to be honest with you. I know he's like their entire offense, but I mean, you put out this emoji. Breece Hall might be a Chief by the next 51 minutes. So we'll see what happens there. Yeah, we'll see what happens there. Go call the Jets. If they're having a fire sale, go find out. Go find out who's available, man. You have a relationship with them. I know not the GM. The GM's from the Broncos. He's not from the Lions. But you definitely have one with Aaron Glenn. I also saw this. How do we feel about this? I'm not saying I'm all for this. I'm just asking you guys. Teams are calling and inquiring about edge Jermaine Johnson. I go to you guys on this. Are we making Jermaine Johnson a Lion or what? I don't know. What do we think? I'm just throwing it to you guys. I'm just throwing it to you guys. That's all. It's a report I'm seeing. Okay, a lot of no's. That's fine. I think Jermaine suffered a lot of injuries. Probably not the most. Listen, if you're going to get an edge, to me, it's Arden Key. A guy like Arden Key, you can be a depth piece, or you go and get a Trey Hendrickson. Jermaine Johnson doesn't really move the needle, and I ain't paying a second round pick for this guy, man. I'm not. I'm not doing it. We're all on the same page here. Let's see. Everyone's saying we need O-line. Yeah. I mean, that's... I haven't seen too much on Twitter, at least, about offensive linemen that are going to be moved. I don't even know if Joe Petonio is going to be moved. By the way, Breece Hall officially requested a trade with the Jets, so he'll be out of there if they do him right. Let's see here. Bengals, and I think this too, guys. Trey Anderson, there's a big chance he is moved because they traded Logan Wilson away. I think Logan Wilson actually requested a trade, but still, I mean, Trey Hendrickson's in the last year of his deal. So I know they say they want a first-round pick, but if you don't move him for a pick at all, he walks. Oh, wait. Jack Conley to the practice squad. Jack Conley to the fucking practice squad. I mean, Brad Holmes, at least take me out to dinner before you fuck me. All right. At least get me a cigarette. All right, Brad Holmes, I'm sick of this shit. I'm sick of this shit. I mean, this is like, okay, listen, man. That might have been a little aggressive. But I'm not, we're not doing this practice squad shit. All right, we're not doing it, Brad. I'm not doing the, what does Dan call the practice squad? Vet squad? Oh, we're not doing this. I can't do this, guys. I can't do this. I don't mind. Listen, I get like, oh, they need depth. I get it. Who's Jack Conley? Boston College. Wow. Wow. Went to, shout out Christian Mahogany. Shout out Will Birchfield, too. Boston College. Son of a bitch, man. Listen, we got over 350 votes on this poll in the chat, which is still live. Will the Lions make a single move? 76% of you say no. So it's just, we have lost all faith in the Lions fan base here that anything's going to happen. We have lost all faith that anything's going to happen. Oh, here we go. Here we go. This is our first one. By the way, shout out to Arthur, by the way. I see you, Arthur, watching some of the content. I appreciate you for that. They have the best record in the NFL the last 3 years. Let him decide what he's going to do. Or let him decide what to do. He has a much better grasp on this than you do. All right, listen, man. Can we stop with the gatekeeping shit? Why is it such a problem that people want more? Like, I didn't know they gave out Lombardi trophies for the best record. Is that what we're doing here, Arthur? Do they give out Lombardi trophies for the best record? Come on, man. No one's saying we know or I know more than Brad. Like, no one's insinuating that. It's okay to be like, hey, I want a move. This offensive line, Arthur, I know you've watched Lions football. This offensive line, especially after Christian Mahogany is out for most of, if not the year. This is rough, man. Like, everyone should want to move. It's not about claiming you know more than Brad. I think that's like the most, I'm not going at you, Arthur, because I hear this so much. And the reason why I brought your comment up is because it's a good example of a lot of people that say this shit. You act like you know more than Brad. What? For having an opinion? What? Wanting to get better? I mean, what are we doing, man? Yeah, no, it's not about knowing more than Brad. It's about wanting to get better and wanting to win a Super Bowl, which I don't know about you, Arthur, or anyone that shares that opinion, but that's the goal, right? That's why you play the game. You want to win a Super Bowl. Real Cream of Wheat says you're not allowed to criticize Brad Holmes. I mean, I found that out over the last couple of years. Trust me, I've been in some shit storms whenever I say one thing about Brad. It could even be, it doesn't have to be like very negative. It could just be like, oh, I didn't really agree with that move. How fucking dare you? It's like, all right, dude, what do you want from me? You know? Oh, here we go, though. 44 minutes. 44 minutes. Oh my gosh, this is getting intense. Jordan says you can trust Brad and want more. Bingo, Jordan, you get it. Glad you can critically think. I mean, you can trust Brad and still want more. Yep. You know what that is? A full display of critical thinking skills. That is what that is. You know what? Credit to you, Jordan. I wish you got one of those memberships I gave out earlier. Shout out to you. But yeah, it's just we're at the bottom of the barrel in confidence. that a move's made. Arthur says, depending on what you define as more, they aren't building for 1 year. They're building for the next decade. The Lions have said this since the beginning. Here's the thing. And I just addressed, I wish you were there earlier, Arthur. Windows in the NFL are very real. All right. Windows are very real. The only teams that have open windows for a decade is Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid and Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. So that's what a 10-year window looks like. Every other team in the NFL that if you don't have the best quarterback or the second best quarterback in a Hall of Fame head coach or a Hall of Fame general manager, you have a window. And right now, you have a bunch of talented players that you're not going to be able to re-sign every single one of those talented players. Every single one of them you're not going to be able to. So maximize your window while they're still here. That's what I believe. You don't want to just make the playoffs, man. And maybe that's where me and you disagree, Arthur. Maybe you're okay with just making the playoffs. I listen, I don't want to make the playoffs. Listen, playoffs are awesome. It's exciting. You know, it's cool. It's awesome. It's been fun the last couple of years, but now we're in a different time right now as Lions fans. You want to win. You want to win it all. That's what you should expect. And it's fun to be. I love the Super Bowl or bust. You know, I love this feeling. It's a great feeling as a fan. I love being here. I've never experienced it. I'm having so much fun. I love Super Bowl. I love the Super Bowl or bust narrative. That's what every fan base strives to have. You know, all these fan bases, I've seen it. They've had it. It's like Patriots fans with Tom Brady. It's like win the Super Bowl or bust. Now we're here. It's exciting, but guess what? It comes with higher expectations. It comes with more pressure. That's what happens. You know, it's not like we're all just sitting around smoking a joint saying, hey, you know, Jack Conley was added, boys. Way to go. You can't think that way. All right. And I'm not saying they should go get, go get some player that'll cost 4 first-rounders, but can you make one move besides Jack Conley to the practice squad in 40 minutes? That's how it goes. But I hope Joel Bitonio's a line. I really do. I hope Joel Bitonio's a line. And making a move today objectively increases your chances to win a Super Bowl. Objectively. And not making a move today objectively hurts your chances. That is how that works. You know, could they win one without making a move? Yeah. Something could happen. Things could align. Quarterbacks could get hurt in games or whatever during the playoff. Things could happen. All right. You could win it. I've seen crazier things happen. But does it help? Does it help if you add? Yes. There's no arguing with that. I mean, add somebody, add a starter on the offensive line, add a defensive end, add a corner. I don't know. I would prefer an offensive lineman, number one, but you add somebody, you increase your chances of winning. All right. That's how it goes. I mean, it's just how it goes, man. Yeah, I did see this here. Tom Pelissero just put this out. And this is like the last thing I want to see tweeted by an insider about the Lions. Practice squad moves amidst a wild trade deadline day. When Tucker Kraft lost for the season, the Packers are signing tight end McCallan Castles. What a name, by the way. It sounds like a porn star. And then the next one's with multiple offensive line injuries, the Lions are adding offensive line Jack Conley to the practice squad. What are we doing here? This is this is come on, Tom. You got anything else in there? I mean, listen, how many contacts you got on there, Tom? Text one of your inside. I mean, text somebody, dude. Find out something. Brad's got to be doing something. Do me a favor. Jeez. I don't know. Yeah, Jack Conley's a Lion. Bernard, the big Jack Conley, Dan Skipper, Iowa Shika, Super Bowl winning O-line incoming. LMAO Goff about to get his a-hole torn because he's going to have 2 seconds to throw the ball. Oh, that's, yeah. Yes. 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 That's how it goes. And listen, I'm not gonna go. And this is what I want to make very clear too. Like, I know people are gonna make the jokes like we should just talk draft. I'm not gonna. You know, I love the jokes. It's like mock draft season, guys. We can't go that. We can't be that extreme. Okay, there's got to be a line. Kind of. We got to. If they don't make a move, are we still gonna root for them and still gonna cheer them? Yes, but are you gonna be like, okay, here we go, buckle up? Brad believes he has a Super Bowl roster. With all the injuries, it's going to suck. But I'm not going to pull the, like, season's over thing. I think, come on. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Do I feel less confident than winning a Super Bowl? No question. No question. But we got to be – there's 2 extreme sides of this thing where people think they're going to win no matter what, and people think they just have absolutely no chance. There's a chance. If you don't add today, of course it hurts that. Of course it hurts that. Theo says, who is the starting left guard right now? Well, it would be, it depends what they want to do. I mean, do you want to move Graham to left guard? Like Dan said, he said they might look at that. Maybe you have Tristan Colon at center, or you could have Yodi. I mean, it's nothing that's enticing. Booner says, Jeff, who are you eyeing in the first round? Oh, shout out to Boone, man. We'll be live again tonight, by the way, to recap everything. I'm going to go until the deadline, and then we'll save all our full thoughts. Not save every single full thought, but me and Boone are going to break this thing down tonight at 8 p.m. So everyone watching, you're going to want to be there. Me and Boone are going to have some great conversations. We're going to get into some things here, you know, whether they make a move or not. It'll be a great combo. Kind of a venting session or a celebratory session. I don't know what's going to happen in the next. It keeps going down every time I look at the clock. I mean, every time now it's 3:24. So, yeah. Now we got 35 minutes. So, shout out to Boone. Shout out to Boone. Chip got Steelers of the NFC. I mean, let's be real, though. At least the Steelers have a Super Bowl in the last 20-something years. Lions have never made a Super Bowl. In my life, not even my life, in everyone's life. They never made in the Super Bowl era, they never made a Super Bowl. Like, I just want to get there, Brad. I just want to get there. I just want to get there, man. I know Brad, I'm not saying Brad makes moves to, you know, try and prevent the Lions from getting there. Obviously, he wants them to get there, but that's where I'm getting at, man. Allow me to be on Woodward, all right? During that parade with all you guys. Boone's doing a Kool-Aid chug. With Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell. All right? And I'm pissed drunk. Like, can we just I just want to celebrate that. That's what this is about. All right? Not too much to ask. Probably. Steve Wild says, I predict Brad will say, quote, it takes 2 to make a deal, end quote, and then we are good, and then go on and talk down to Doc. Oh, that's funny. Yeah. 2 to make a deal. We're good. I believe in this team. And then Doc, you suck. Shout out to the Doc, man. We're going to talk to him tomorrow. That'll be such a good conversation. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a good one. Shout out to the Doc, man. Sean says, Booner chugging Kool-Aid near naked. On Woodward, yeah. Booner, hey, win a Super Bowl, everything's on the table. Jason says, so if you're recapping all the trade deadline activity on tonight's show, does that mean it'll only be a 15-minute episode? I mean, it seems that way, Jason. But don't worry. We could talk for a long time, and it'll be good conversations. I mean, it's just going to be a trade deadline episode, and maybe we'll get Flannel on tonight. Maybe Flannel will be joining. We'll see in the second hour, but it'll be a good show. It'll be a really good show. Flannel will be there either today or Thursday, so we'll see what day he's on. But Slink says, I bet Dan is low-key pissed. I imagine he would love a big move for the offense. Yeah, of course. Like, listen, Dan and Brad are in lockstep, and I think there is a part of Dan where, of course, like Dan wants, dude, if you told Dan, if Brad told Dan we're getting this player, Brad would be like, cool. I'm down. You ever see Brad during the Inside the Den episodes where they're drafting a player? Like, you think, and Dan obviously knows that. I'm not saying that the guy doesn't know what's going on, but Brad can look at Dan and be like, this guy out of Bowling Green, I love. And Dan will be like, fuck yeah. Yeah. Hell yeah. I'm cool with him. Yeah. Like, Dan's going to support most things Brad does. Like, that's his guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you don't think Dan during this time is kind of like, hey, we do need an offensive lineman? I mean, and I'm sure they definitely communicate that, you know. Now I'm looking around the league, by the way, guys. I do not see anything as of yet. I'm trying to look around and see if there's anything that's came out. Theo says you still talk to Adam. I just talked to him yesterday. Talked to him almost every other day. Shout out to Adam, man. Love that man. He is family. So yeah, I talk to Adam all the time. He's doing good. He's doing really good. But yeah, no, nothing reported as of right now. It's been, I mean, this, and I don't know if this is not good. We're 30 minutes away. We're 30 minutes away and not a damn thing has happened. Sorry, Jack Conley's a lion. Fuck. Deaton pickleball. By the way, shout out Sean. Sean says never loved him. Never loved someone who tried to murder me on live air as much as Adam. Yeah, he's the absolute man. We're pro Adam over here. Love that man. We'll do. I mean, he protect him at all costs. I wish I could bring him on. Don't worry. In the future, you'll hear from him again. He's definitely pissed off. I know that man. He feels the same way I do. Like most fans should. I mean, I don't think it's like absurd to be like, hey, Brad, poke him. You know, do something. Do something. And anyone that wants to sit up on that high horse and say, trust in Brad, I mean, dude, kick rocks. Has nothing to do about not trusting Brad. I mean, like, relax. You guys should demand more. You guys should expect more. And anyone that tells you you're wrong or, you know, your opinion is invalid is, without lack of a better word, an idiot. So that's what I feel. Because that's ridiculous. You should expect more. You know, you should want more. Not saying Brad's going to do everything you want to do, but that's just how it goes. And Dan Campbell said this morning. I didn't show this on the show yet, but he did say this on 97.1 The Ticket this morning. Dan Campbell on whether O-line will be a target today on the traded deadline. We've looked there for sure. Is it we've looked there or we're looking there? I mean, hey Dan, are we? Is this a past, a present? What are we doing here? We've looked there, or we're looking. Hopefully, you're still looking with 29 minutes. I mean, I really hope so, man. I really hope so, man. I'm joking, but I really do. I hope they're diving into it. I'm getting nervous. Okay. I'm getting nervous. Travis Clark says, so nothing yet, Jeff. No, nothing yet. Haven't seen anything. This might be. Is this crazy to say? By the way, and you guys can keep me. I mean, you guys can be honest with me here. Is this if Brad doesn't make a move in a year where you're 5-3, divisions, you're stuck kind of in this battle right now for the division. The NFC looks relatively wide open. The Chiefs look beatable. They don't look unstoppable like they usually do. Would this be one of the most disappointing deadlines in Brad's tenure? I think this might be the because I'm just thinking about it and just off the top of my head. Last year, it's hard because they were injured everywhere. So I'm not going to say that's on. I mean, they were injured, dude. You can't blame anyone for that. I mean, they were just injured everywhere. But with this deadline, okay, you guys are all agreeing. Okay, I was going to say this might be the most disappointing deadline because they're mostly healthy. Everything's up for grabs. It just feels that way. It just feels that way. Like the Eagles look beatable, the Chiefs look beatable. I think that's a fair opinion. I think this might be the most disappointing because early on, the expectations weren't as high. So now in 2025, going into 2026 is a little different. Now you expect a Super Bowl. That's what they talked about before the year. It would be disappointing. I think the most disappointing, to be honest. So seems like you guys agree with that. But yeah, nothing. Nothing, man. Nothing. Haven't seen a single thing. I can't believe the irony of getting a Jack Conley to the practice squad tweet. By the way, Spencer Raxter, shout out to Spenny. He put this tweet out. Andrew Wiley. This would be a good option. Since 2023. 38 games played, 1 sack allowed, 7 penalties against, time spent at right tackle, right guard, left guard, versatile. Love that, Spenny. Versatility, level of play, playoff experience. If the Washington Commanders are shopping the Michigan native, Brad Holmes on the Detroit line should make the call. Cheap too, only $3.6 million. Final year of contract. Love this. Love this. Andrew Wiley. That'd be a really good one. Am I crazy for still having some hope? I mean, my gosh. I mean, it's like I have just like a little ounce. I got it's just like a little slither, a little bit. I mean, we got 25 minutes, man. Like, wow. I really can't believe that. I mean, I want to say, oh no. This makes this deadline even worse. Adam Schefter just put this out. Oh my gosh. Adam Schefter just put out. There have been 6 trades today, tied for the 3rd most on any trade deadline day going back to 1990. There were 10 trades on November 1st, 2022, and 8 trades on November 5th, 2024. And the Lions didn't make a single fucking one. Yeah. I can't believe that. I cannot believe that. The 3rd most trades of any trade deadline day going back to 1990, and the Lions have not made one. It's not over yet, but holy shit, dude. Thanks for tweeting that out, Adam Schefter. That's awesome. Appreciate that. Yeah, no, it's awesome. That's sweet. It's cool. I mean, I don't get it, man. Why do we got to stand pat and just watch all these teams make moves. By the way, the Panthers just released Hendon Hooker. Hey, here we go. This is a transaction. Bring Hendon Hooker back. There's another one for you. That's a tough look for me, huh? Damn. Panthers release Hendon Hooker. Is it just National Fuck Jeff Day, or what are we doing here? I mean, first Brad Holmes, and then Panthers are next? Is this what we're doing today, you sick fucks? Am I just a joke? All right. Is that what I am? Sick, man. As I'm trying to see if the Lions make a move, I get that tweet. Well, Panthers releasing Hendon Hooker. That's what everyone's tweeting about now. Like, that's how sad this shit is. We're more concerned about Hendon Hooker getting released in Carolina than the Lions making a move. Not that it's their fault. It's just the only news that's out there. Mike, okay. You know what? Michael, you're a sicko. And don't you, this is sick. You should be ashamed. You know what, dude? Because you almost just saved my entire day. You sicko, dude. No. This chat needs, listen, this chat, we can't listen, we got to bond together here. Like, we can't be doing that because a lot of people are on high alert. Everyone's really sensitive right now, pissed off. You got a lot of, we got 450 pissed off people in here. All right. So if we start dropping in when the Lions just got Trey Hendrickson, this is going to this could get very bad. All right. So we can't, listen, we got to stick together here. All right. We can't be dropping fake news. We can't. Nate Paulson, shout out to Nate, man. He says, if you're the Browns, why would you not want to deal Bitonio? Might retire next year. Your team is ass salad. Ass salad's crazy. Might as well collect a late pick. Gabriel can't see over him anyway. All great points, again, by my good friend Nate, man. And all the points are valid. Why wouldn't you want to deal Joe Bitonio? He's like 34 years old. Why? In the last year of his deal. Why? And I'll tell you this. Hey, Browns. He ain't coming back. It's like the Magic Johnson meme. He's like, I ain't going to be here. That's Joe Bitonio. He's like, I ain't going to be here, bro. I'm out. So trade him. Their team is ass salad. The Browns, man, they're idiots too. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. I wish I had an explanation. I wish I did, guys. I really wish I did. I don't got shit. I don't. I don't got a damn thing. Nothing. Eric says, is Brad speaking after the deadline? I believe so. I think that's what happens typically. I think he always does speak after the deadline. I could be wrong on that. I mean, he speaks after they make trades, but I think even if you don't make a trade, you speak on it. So, yeah. Can't wait for that. Deaton says there was a tweet that said the GM of the Giants thought the trade deadline was tomorrow. There's no way. Joe Sheen? There's no way that, I mean, actually, there is a way. There's actually a very possible way that man thought the deadline was tomorrow. I know people are talking about the heavy. Shout out to Easy. Easy tweeted that if they don't make a move, he still believes they're Super Bowl contenders. Shout out to Easy, but I don't know about that one, Easy. I don't know about that one. They need offensive line help, man. Yeah. This is bad. This is so bad. They're done, man. They're not making a move. Yeah. It's tough. I'll say this, and I see people are talking about I think if you say the Lions are contenders, let's say they don't make a move. If you want to say the Lions are contenders, that's fine. You could say they're contenders. But in my opinion, I would take other teams over the Lions. And I didn't think like that before the season. Like, I didn't think like that weeks ago. But over the stretch of last 3 weeks, like, I'm an idiot for putting them as the number one team this week. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. They're still like a top 5. I think they're probably around top 5. I think they're around top 5 team, maybe top 6, top 5. But yeah. I mean, the Rams clearly look better. Like the Rams, I would take the Rams over the Lions in a playoff matchup. There's not even a question in my mind. I think they have to prove they can. I mean, the Packers just lost Tucker Kraft, so that obviously hurts them. But I got to see them against the Eagles. You know, people are talking about the Seahawks. Like, I think Sam Darnold's still a little fugazi at times. I think he could fold like a pumpkin or fold like a cheap lawn chair is a better word to say. But yeah, I would definitely take the Rams. I just think this offensive line was already it wasn't performing that. It was inconsistent, and then you just lost Mahogany. But I definitely don't feel confident in winning a Super Bowl. You could say they're contenders, but I lost a lot of confidence. Like, I think they need to make a move just to get back in that conversation of being a legit Super Bowl contender. I guess you can say contenders. Like, people might say like the Seahawks are contenders. I mean, whatever. People might have some teams as contenders. I think the Lions they could be contenders. But I don't think there's a difference between what I think will happen and, like calling them contenders or not. If they don't make a move, they're not winning a Super Bowl, man. They're not. They're not. It's just disappointing. 15 minutes left, guys, by the way. 15 minutes left. I don't know. This is crazy. Not one. Well, actually, besides Jack Conley. Motor City Street Scene. He says, Hefe, what's crazy is Brad Holmes could probably use those 2-6 they got to acquire both of those guards, yet he won't do it. Yeah. I mean, I listen, man. I think a 6 is probably all it's going to cost for like a rental. I mean, to get like a Joe Bitonio is probably like a 6. A 6-round pick to get a guy like Joe Bitonio. Like, it's like give up of whatever it is. 5th, 6th, 4th. Might be a little too steep. Oh, notification. Oh. It's just a report from Adam Schefter that the Eagles will not trade A.J. Brown. Not that that's relevant, nor does anyone care here in Detroit. I mean, whatever. Someone says, what about Evan Neal? See, Evan Neal has not been good. Okay. Let me see. Let me double check everything. Let me check him. Let me check him out for a sec. He has not played this year, but last year he's a terrible pass blocker. Better at run blocking. I think they've started playing him at guard. I don't know. I think Evan Neal, it ain't going to make me feel great. I would rather have a vet like Joe Bitonio, who's proven he's a good player in this league, seen a lot of football. That's where I'm at. 13 minutes. 13 minutes, guys. 13 minutes. That's where we're at. Oh, geez. Grant says keeping those picks for a quarterback in 2026. Yeah, I mean, guys, I think that what they're thinking about is not replacing Goff as of right now. I don't think they're thinking about replacing Goff right now. ETN says, well, you'll never get these 90 minutes of your life back. You know what? To be fair, I actually have a ton of blast with you guys, man. You guys make this so much fun. So I appreciate you. I love doing this. I mean, it's a ton of fun. I did this during free agency. I went live for, 8 hours a day for like a 3-4 day stretch. And then we're back for the trade deadline. I wanted to go until 4 o'clock to see if they do anything. And I had this scenario in my head where things would start popping off and we'd be live and I'd be with you guys and we'd be having a great time. But we have 12 minutes left and not a damn thing has happened but Jack Conley. So maybe this didn't go as I expected it to go. That is for certain. That is for certain. Boots Omega. You mean we could have Jack Conley and Hendon Hooker? Yes. Yes. Now that's a deadline. I swear to gosh, man. If Jack Conley is the only move, Jack Conley is the only move the Lions make, you know what this tells me, guys? You know what this tells me? That Brad thinks we're good, but also that the players coming back from injury are going to be additions. But here's the thing. Who's coming back at guard, bro? Who's coming back at guard? Mahogany's out for most of the year, if not the year. Davenport, fine. He's coming back at edge. You're going to have another guy in the edge room. DJ Reed, great. Kirby, great. But, dude, you're going to face good defensive fronts. That's what it's about, man. You're going to face good defensive fronts. If you're going to face good teams in the playoffs or Super Bowl teams, you're going to face good front sevens. And if you can't handle the fucking Vikings, if you can't handle the Chiefs, if you can't handle the Bucs, you can't handle the Packers in terms of protecting Goff, what makes you think they're going to win a Super Bowl? Those are good teams, good front sevens. You're not going to just face, you might face the Bears actually. And you might beat the Bears. I think that's fine. But you're not facing the Bears every single time, every round in the playoffs. You're not facing the Bengals. You're not facing the Browns. You're facing the Rams. You're facing the Eagles. You're facing the Seahawks. You're facing teams with good front sevens. You need to be able to protect. You need to be able to protect Jared. You need to be able to run the ball. You're not going to just get by with Yodi at guard. I mean, you're just not. No offense to Yodi. He's not trying to throw a stray his way. But, dude, you're not. You're not, man. And by the way, I believe Brad knows more than me. Then he should know this. He should know this. Okay? Why is this such a hard concept? I mean, the front sevens are eating up the SO line. But come playoffs, they'll just get it together. No, because you just lost a starter. They got worse. And now you got to move things around on your O-line, and somehow that's going to get better. Well, we'll just move Graham to guard, and we'll put Tristan Colon in at center. You're going to have Tristan Colon at center, who was on the practice squad. Tristan Colon. That's who's starting at center. Come on, man. Come on, man. This is ridiculous, guys. Shout out to Pedro, by the way. We met Pedro on Sunday. Shout out, bro. Dude. I don't know what to do, man. I don't know what to do. And where's Miles Frazier at, by the way? Where the hell is Miles Frazier at? Where's Miles Frazier at? This guy's been hurt all year. I mean, my gosh. Miles Frazier's supposed to be that. I mean, I don't even know if he would have been good enough to start right away, but damn, man. Damn. Man, dude. Man. Brandon Hunt says 3/3 for a wideout who doesn't play. Well, it's unfortunate. I liked Isaac Tesla, and I actually hated it. I hated the trade. I was like, oh, Isaac's an intriguing player. I just hated the trade when it happened. But I really do think Isaac Tesla is actually good. I think he'd be good. They just don't use him because they can't protect. They have to have another tight end out there. That's why. They can't run 11 personnel like they could last year because they can't have another fucking receiver out there because they need Brock Wright out there. Because Brock Wright helps them protect Jared. So you can't even see Isaac because your O-line sucks. Your O-line sucks. If they could protect Jared, maybe you could run a little more 11 personnel. Maybe you could have 3 receivers out there. They can't. They need tight ends to chip because they just can't protect their franchise quarterback. Okay? Jared's on pace for a career high in sacks. Or not, I don't think, wait, is it a career high? Might be a career high, or it might be his most ever in a Detroit Lions uniform. I think it's actually that one. So I can't even see the player you gave up the fucking farm for, or 3/3, because you can't protect your franchise quarterback. Oh, and then at the deadline, you don't fucking trade for anybody. Yeah, awesome. Not even a starting guard, an expiring deal. I'm not asking for much here, okay? I'm asking for someone just to help protect your franchise quarterback. I swear, guys. God forbid Jared gets hurt. If Jared Goff gets hurt, I'm going to Allen Park by myself and I'm protesting, okay? I'm bringing out a sign. I'm bringing out the signs. I'm marching over to Allen Park, all right? Because this is some bullshit, all right? Goff's been getting destroyed the last couple games, and you don't make a fucking move. Jack Conley's your bet is all you got. Come on, Nick 83, appreciate the 5. Let's see here. It's okay to crash the fuck out. Cowboys have 5 losses and not making the playoffs yet, still making moves. Eagles going back to back. Sorry. So, listen. Cowboys have to make moves. All right, they're not good. So I'm not going to try and say that you have to make moves like the Cowboys make or anything. I'm not saying that, but Eagles are in the same category as you. They're Super Bowl contenders, and guess what? They made like 4 trades. Howie Roseman's playing Madden out here. He can't keep getting away with this. Dude. Howie Roseman can't keep getting away with this, man. He can't keep getting away with it. It's not fair. It's bullshit. How does he draft so well? How does he sign the right free agents? And how does he make the right trades? Miles Frazier just tweeted. Hold on. We have life? Oh, here we go. Miles Frazier with the prayer emojis. Thanks, Miles Frazier. I appreciate it. Listen, man, we need you. And then Sleeper responded. Shout out to Sleeper, by the way, sponsor of the show. Responded with a question mark. Good. Okay, what is this? Good luck in Pittsburgh, big bro. No, we're not trading Miles Frazier, man. That's all we got. And I actually like Miles Frazier coming out. I think he'd be a pretty good player, but it looks like here's our starting guard. And I'm not trying to take the diss at Miles Frazier. I like Miles Frazier. I hope he sticks. I love Miles Frazier. I think he'd be a good player. But they do need a veteran. Like, I don't think it's fair to Miles Frazier to step in off an injury and then you have to be the savior. Like, we need a vet. We need like a Kevin Zeitler of last year, which this year would be like Joel Bitonio. We need someone to walk in and be like, hey, I've done this for 10 years. I got it. It's over, guys. It's over. Yeah, 2 minutes. Let's call it. I'm calling it now. I'm calling it right now. I don't give a shit if it's 2 minutes. It's done. It's done. It's done. It's just the death of many things. Nate Paulson, well, boys, wasn't going to drink on a Tuesday. Hey, Siri, play Blurry by Puddle of Mud for 24 hours straight. Yeah, I'll be joining you, Nate, after this stream. By the way, one more poll for the people. Because it seems like you guys obviously vehemently disagree that they're going to make a move. And clearly 80% of you who voted were right on that. I'm just going to say this. Do you believe the Lions are still contenders? We'll just do that. How about that? I'll just ask you guys that. Because I'm not going to say play. I think they'll make the playoffs, but just straight up contenders. Do you guys believe they're still contenders? And I'm not trying to sway you one way or another. I'm just asking you guys. I just want to get a feel for the chat. That's all. ETN says Chargers just got Trevor Penning from the Saints. It's a good trade by them, man. And by the way, I know there might be a lot of you who are kind of in this like tier where it's like, I think they're contenders, maybe not top tier contenders. That's okay. They're still contenders. You know, it's just, and I don't think there's a wrong, I think you have an argument. Depends how you look at it. Like, I think they're contenders. If you don't think they'll win a Super Bowl, you might say they're not contenders, but how I look at it is they're one of the best teams still in their conference. I think they should be looked at as contenders. Maybe that's fair. But if you ask me, Jeff, they win in the Super Bowl this year, right now with this roster, injuries that just happened, it's hard to say. I would say no. If you just ask me, give me an answer right now, I'd say no. Because John Morton, unless their offense can just figure it out, or I don't know, all of a sudden just protect Jared Goff better. I think the pass protection's a problem. I think their offensive line is how this team is built. And if they're not playing at a high level, it's going to be hard to win a Super Bowl, guys. It just is, man. It just is. And we're officially dead. R.I.P., man. We're dead. We're dead in the water. Just get a moment of silence. Let's get a moment of silence. You know what? I can't believe this, dude. I cannot believe this. This can't be happening. And here's the deal, by the way. Saints are trading offensive lineman Trevor Penning. He's a tackle to the Chargers. I would say, listen, this is what I'll say about this, all right? Real Cream of Wheat says, Juicy Jeff, I told you at the beginning of the day we were doing nothing. You were right. Mike says we are going to miss the fucking playoffs, Jeff. Listen. I think they'll make the playoffs. I'm not there yet. I think they're a good enough team to make the playoffs. It's about winning the Super Bowl. I mean, it just what are we doing? Nick 83, appreciate the 5 when that Cowboys new D line comes in here in a few weeks. Watch the fuck out. Yeah, I think Brad walks into that press conference, and you know what he's gonna say? I can already predict it, and please remember me if I'm right. He's gonna say, and then whoever commented it earlier, it takes 2 to make a deal. Here I'll be Brad. It takes it takes 2 to make a deal, and there's some things we were in some discussions, but ultimately, it was just too high of a price point. Wasn't the price point we wanted. And I feel very comfortable with some of the players that are coming back right now, and where we are as an organization. That I believe in this coaching staff that we will get this thing right, and we are in a good position for the future, like Joshua Martin says. And that's the end quote right there. Boom. That's the that's going to be what he says today or tomorrow, whenever he speaks. But again, I'm Joe. I'm messing with you. Listen, Brad Holmes is still. I'm not trying to say the guy's like a bad GM or anything, but I am disappointed. Okay, I am disappointed. I thought they would replace Christian Mahogany. I thought he would add depth, and I'm not talking about Jack Conley depth. You know what I mean. But I'm disappointed. So, I'll be live tonight with Booner. It'll be a great show. 8:00 p.m. sharp. Be there. We'll be hanging out. You guys gather all your thoughts. Okay? Think about this. Think about everything on your mind, everything we've been talking about today. Think about it. And tonight, I'm going to gather my thoughts. Trying to collect them as we speak. And then later, we'll be live to talk all about it. Jordan, appreciate the $2. Says, like the Tigers, kick the can down the road. Bullshit. Yeah. Lexi says, it's like waking up on Christmas and finding out you actually did get a lump of coal. Yeah, it's like you know what it is? It's like Christmas, maybe the night before Christmas, you're talking to your sibling, and your sibling's like, hey man, I saw the Christmas present. You might be getting that new PS5 you wanted, or you might be getting that new whatever you wanted, and you're like, hell yeah. And you wake up and open it, and it's a pair of socks. Nothing wrong with a pair of socks. You need it. It's like Jack Conley. You need depth. But I thought I was getting a PlayStation, man. All right. And then you just get spit on right after that. I don't know why that has to happen, but I think that just has to be a part of it. Is it still going to be a good Christmas? Of course. But I got a pair of socks. We got a pair of socks. Is Brad going to be live soon? If he's going to be live soon, I'll stay live. I can't believe this. Oh, man, I can't believe it. Let me see the Detroit Lions. Let me see if he's going to be live. I hope he's live within the next couple of minutes. Oh, this will be great. We can watch it together. Let me see. I don't know if he's going to be live. He should be live today. But I do want to see Brad speak. I just want to know what he's going to say. That's all. I would just be curious what his response to all this is. I would love to know. Oh my gosh, man. And you know what? I have a lot of and listen, I love this man. I do. I have a lot of respect for this man, but I got to disagree with this tweet. Before I go, can I be a little petty? I love Jeremy Reisman's honestly one of the best in business. But this tweet I disagree with, Jeremy. He's I mean, I'm sure he's being, he's playing around, joking, because Lions fans are probably like, they're not serious about winning a Super Bowl. So Jeremy Reisman says, I can't believe the Lions, Packers, Vikings, 49ers, Rams, Buccaneers, Panthers, Bills, Chiefs, and Broncos aren't serious about winning a Super Bowl. All right. Let's break this down. The Packers traded for Micah Parsons. They're pretty serious about winning a Super Bowl. All right. They're already off that list. Vikings aren't in a position to win a Super Bowl. 49ers are injured everywhere. It's going to be hard for them to come back and win a Super Bowl. The Rams don't need to make any moves. They're already Super Bowl contenders. The Buccaneers, listen, the Buccaneers are in an interesting position because they're getting Bucky Irving back. Their offensive line they're getting relatively healthy. Mike Evans, could they have traded for a receiver? Yeah, but Chris Godwin, I think, is coming back. I don't think they're in a desperate need to make a bunch of moves. Panthers, they probably could have made a move still. So maybe I'd put the Bucs. Maybe the Bucs should have made a move for sure. Panthers, I mean, they're not winning a Super Bowl, man. Bills, they have Josh Allen. Every time they have Josh Allen, they can contend. Chiefs, same thing. And I'm sure they both tried to make moves. The Bills tried to get Jacoby Myers. They were trying, and it was already reported they were trying. Chiefs, I don't know what the Chiefs are doing, but as long as they have Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, they're always going to be Super Bowl contenders. And the Broncos have the best defense, arguably, in the entire NFL. And could they have gotten a receiver? Yeah. So I would say the Broncos, Bucs, and Lions are probably three teams that should have made a move. But I think all the other teams are disqualified from this list. Like I think the Lions are definitely, I think they're not that Brad's thinking to himself, I'm not serious about winning a Super Bowl, but not making a significant move of any sort, especially when you lose your starting left guard for most of the year in a gauntlet of a schedule. Just what does that send to your fan base? Like, I don't blame for people for being like, are they serious about winning a Super Bowl? And Jeremy talks about it like it doesn't surprise him that Detroit didn't think they were one guard away from their Super Bowl chances evaporating. They trust their depth. I think, honestly, I hope Brad's right with that trust in the depth, man. Because at least when you had Yodi starting, you had Frank Ragnow out there. You don't have Frank Ragnow anymore. You don't. Frank, please come back, man. I will give up my kidney for you to come back. What do you need, Frank? What do you need? What do you need? I mean, you can have whatever you want. You could have my whole entire foot, like you guys are saying. He can have my entire foot. You can have it, man. I don't know when they're going to be. I don't know when Brad's going to be live. It doesn't say. I haven't seen anyone report it, but that sucks. That sucks. And by the way, Trevor Penning, who was just traded to the Chargers, he's an offensive lineman, plays for the Saints. He was just traded to the Chargers. He started at left guard like 7 games. He could have played left guard for you. So, it's tough. Yep. I'm going to get out of here. Can't do it. Can't do it, guys. I got to, we'll be live in about 3.5 hours. All right. I don't know what to say. We'll be live in a couple hours. And Brandon, here's a shout out to Brandon. Brandon, you actually won an award, by the way. It's an award that my good friend Adam Baidoon used to give out. It's called Dumbass Comment of the Day. All right. So congratulations. Here, I'm gonna get you an award. I'm gonna get you make sure you get some celebration. It's called the Dumbass Comment of the Day. And Brandon, you won it. Congratulations. And if you believe that me asking for a team that I root for to add, then if that makes me a bitch, or that is fine. That is okay. I want to win a Super Bowl. So if congratulations, Brandon. Yeah, congrats, Brandon. Dumbass comment of the day. Because if I'm a bitch, then that means 400 plus people in here are bitches, because we all want the Lions to win a Super Bowl. So I don't know what you're on, Brandon. I'm out of here, man. Fuck this shit. See you guys at 8 o'clock. Me and Boone will be live. See you guys.